The real reason behind 50 Cent's refusal to end his feud with Diddy has finally come to light, and it looks like this battle isn't ending anytime soon. New court revelations have pulled back the curtain on what's really fueling their long-running conflict. Let's rewind to where it all began. You may remember when music producer Lil Rod filed a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of mishandling his publishing rights. The two had worked together on an album, but according to Lil Rod, Diddy withheld his fair share of the earnings. But the lawsuit didn't stop at just business. Lil Rod took things further, threatening to reveal personal information about Diddy and accusing him of mistreatment during their time working together.
Hey, because I run shit. You know what I'm saying? I run shit.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Little Rod ain't worth giving this kingdom to if we don't control his publishing. I can solve his efforts with 3 other human beings. He's eating at our table, and I like his backstory, but you need to have other people. It's hard to work with him unless we have his power. He's a piece of human, but we do not need his talent unless we can work.
This is the point where 50 Cent and the mother of his child enter the picture. Lil Rod claims that Diddy allegedly boasted about providing monthly financial support to several women. According to Lil Rod, some of the women allegedly receiving these monthly payments included Young Miami, Carisha, Jade Ramsey, whose background is still uncertain, and Daphne Joy. He also claims that Diddy referred to these payments as compensation for their roles as personal companions. Staying true to his blunt and unapologetic style, 50 Cent didn't hesitate to respond to Lil Rod's claims involving the mother of his child. 50 Cent took to Instagram with a caption that read, "I had no idea you were out here doing egg work, you little egg hustler. Lol, this feels like a movie." 50 Cent's public comment stirred tension between him and the mother of his child, who firmly rejected Lil Rod's accusations. She released a statement addressing the claims directly. "I am deeply hurt by the lies in Rodney Jones' lawsuit. The claim that I am a worker is 100% false and amounts to character assassination. I am retaining an attorney to pursue all legal options against both Rodney and his attorney." But she didn't leave it at just denying the claims. She went further, calling out 50 Cent for seemingly backing a narrative that portrayed her as being involved in that kind of work. In a pointed Instagram story, she addressed him directly. 50 Cent is causing significant disruption and distress in people's lives. While he may see the situation as humorous, it is far from a joke for those involved, as their safety and well-being are now at risk. She stated that she had moved to New York to give him the chance to be a present father, but he has not fulfilled that role in the way she had hoped. She further added, "Let's shift the attention to your truly harmful actions of assaulting me and physically violating me. You are no longer in control of my life. God will take care of you from here. You have permanently shattered my last hope for you as a father to keep our family together. These latest false accusations have broken our hearts for the final time." Hearing her statements, one might think she was completely innocent and that both 50 Cent and Lil Rod were making false claims without any clear motive. However, 50 Cent eventually filed a lawsuit against her, which led to her retracting the allegations of physical assault. Throughout this period, Daphne Joy consistently denied ever receiving monthly payments to act as one of Diddy's so-called personal companions. She maintained this stance until recently, when she was called to testify in court under oath. At that moment, the story she had been telling began to unravel. During her testimony, she confessed to the very thing she had previously denied. What was particularly striking about her admission was the financial reality faced by many public figures. Contrary to popular belief that celebrities are always financially secure, her testimony shed light on how some famous individuals actually struggle with financial instability.
Jane Doe has officially taken the stand. She's victim number 2. She will be on the stand for several days, and a lot of her testimony sounds very similar to Cassie's. First met Diddy in 2020 on a girls' trip to Miami, and at the time he was dating her friend, but he was still flirting with her and offered her his number. The two began texting and were calling each other nicknames. She would call him Ernie, and he would call her Bert. The day after meeting her, he texted her saying he wanted to take her out, but she texted him back saying it felt complicated. At the time of meeting Diddy, she was living on the East Coast and said that he was pursuing her, and when her friend got engaged to someone else, she decided to give.
Her testimony made it clear that these women were not innocent bystanders. They were fully aware of the circumstances they were entering and willingly took part for financial benefit. Daphne explained that she had gone on a girls' trip with a friend who was dating Diddy at the time. During the trip, she secretly obtained Diddy's contact details and began communicating with him behind her friend's back, all while pretending to have no interest in getting involved. Her friend's situation wasn't much different. After spending time with Diddy and having intimate encounters, she married someone else and moved overseas just a few months later. It's quite possible that the man she married had been involved with her while she was still seeing Diddy. The swift shift from being with Diddy to getting married and relocating abroad certainly raises some questions. According to Daphne, after her friend moved on, she started a relationship with Diddy herself. Throughout her testimony, it was apparent that Daphne was financially dependent on him, relying on whatever support he provided.
In 2021, she said she flew out to Miami to have their first date, and they spent 5 days in a hotel room. Said they had dinner on the balcony, they went all the way, and she let him know that she had a child with someone that he knew. This person did not get along with Diddy, but he said that he didn't mind. During those 5 days, she said they did get dressed up and go out to a restaurant, and she was head over heels. A month later, for her birthday, Diddy took her to Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas for a 15-day luxury trip, and KK was there, as well as a chef, a butler, and at one point even a barber. Diddy gifted her a bracelet that said love, and she told him that she was an influencer and that's how she made money. So because he was taking her away from her work, he wired her $10,000.
These women are quite strategic. As influencers, they have the ability to share content from anywhere in the world without losing any income. In fact, taking vacations often increases their online engagement thanks to better photo opportunities. The main reason she is testifying now is to confirm that Diddy was providing her with a monthly stipend in exchange for spending intimate time with other men. She acknowledged this during her testimony. At first, it didn't seem like there was a clear financial deal, but things became more apparent when she expressed hesitation about continuing. That's when Diddy started to pressure her, suggesting that if she refused to take part in these so-called hotel time meetings, her financial support would stop. Eventually, she was essentially told, "How are you going to pay your rent? You have 3 months to figure it out."
She testified that he introduced her to X, Molly, Snow, and Came, and those were the substances that they would take every time that they would sleep together. She said that part of her life became very intense because every time that would happen, there would be red lighting, corn playing, she would wear dancer shoes, lingerie, and coated in baby oil. It would often last 24 hours, and it first started off making love, but turned into something else. She said that she and Diddy would often talk about his fantasies, and then said in May of 2021 in Miami, after being awake and high for 24 hours, he had brought it up. He suggested making one of the fantasies come true and inviting a man to the hotel, and she got nervous. He said Diddy's assistant started to prep the room, there was red lighting, and a man named Dawn showed up. He said Diddy and Dawn started talking, and she was sitting on the couch with her robe on, legs crossed, and she was nervous. When Diddy told her to stand up and start dancing to ease her nerves. She said Dawn was only wearing underwear and Diddy was making himself happy. And then you know the rest. She and Dawn started doing things, then she and Diddy did things, and said it was taboo and thrilling at first, but it opened Pandora's box. Now Diddy would call these sessions freak-offs with Cassie, but she said with her it was debauchery or hotel night.
That's one of the key distinctions between Daphne's case and Cassie's. In Cassie's situation, prosecutors are trying to prove that Diddy coerced her into these activities, alleging he used physical force and intimidation. In contrast, Daphne's case does not involve accusations of force or coercion. Instead, it highlights the transactional nature of their relationship. At first, Daphne engaged willingly because she had genuine feelings for Diddy, but over time, the dynamic shifted into a financial arrangement. Legally, paying someone for sexual services qualifies as prostitution, which is illegal. Among the charges Diddy faces is transporting individuals for prostitution, a charge that carries a maximum sentence of around 10 years. Even if prosecutors don't succeed on all counts, it seems likely Diddy could be found guilty of at least 2 counts of transportation for prostitution, one involving Cassie and another involving Daphne. After hearing both testimonies, this point is difficult to refute. While there may be debate about the presence of force, both women appeared to participate willingly, motivated by financial gain. However, Diddy arranged their travel, provided monthly payments for these encounters, and allegedly threatened to cut off financial support when they expressed a desire to stop.
Said after that one time, it happened every time she saw him. And she said these nights were not short. It lasted 20 to 30 hours, involved 24 bottles of baby oil, and always followed the same script: red lights, substances, escorts, and doing it while Diddy was doing his thing. She had told Diddy she didn't want to do this anymore in writing and verbally. He would respond and tell her, "That's fine. If we break up, I'm not paying your rent." Because of that, she felt obligated to continue and said that Diddy was paying her $10,000 a month for rent and gave her cash, wired her up to $20,000 at a time, and told her to stay beautiful, available, and ready at a moment's notice. Whenever Diddy wanted these nights to happen, she said, "I always had child care ready." Because of this, she said she kept her appearance perfect, rarely saw her friends, and said her social media career dwindled. At one point, she tried to ask Diddy about being on OF because one of her model friends were on there, but he said no. He talked about a time when she went to the south of France in the summer of 2021 and said he was angry in the voice notes that he was sending her. Also talked about the fact that he wanted her to look a certain way during these sessions, saying he wanted her to have straight hair with a ponytail and wanted her to pierce, upstairs. He said they did take a short break in 2023, but it didn't stop the pattern of these nights. He said they got back together in February of 2024, which was after Cassie had filed her lawsuit, and broke up a few months before his arrest. And she told the jury, "It felt like a door I wanted to shut, but..."
She entered into a relationship with Diddy after Cassie had already filed her lawsuit, and after the disturbing Cassie video had surfaced. So let's be clear, she knew exactly what she was walking into. There was no coercion involved here, and even prosecutors aren't trying to spin that narrative. Still, women like Daphne are fully aware of the stigma attached to becoming one of Diddy's so-called companions, especially knowing that others, possibly multiple, would be involved. Realistically, she may have had a significant dating history before Diddy, and that number likely increased afterward. Some speculate she added over 150 additional partners during the course of this arrangement, all for a $10,000 monthly payment. Was that exchange worth it? Only she can answer that. But here's the reality. Her reputation has shifted. Now, in the eyes of the public, she may be seen as someone only suitable for short-term flings, not long-term commitment. In fact, Diddy might be the only man willing to seriously commit to her at this stage. It's unlikely that a financially stable or high-value man would pursue a public long-term relationship with her. Not because she's undeserving, but because of how much baggage and media attention comes with the situation. Let's not forget, $10,000 a month sounds like a lot, unless you're dealing with a billionaire like Diddy. And in truth, even a well-off average man could potentially offer that. By settling for that kind of arrangement, she may have unintentionally undervalued herself. Today, the kind of man who might pursue her seriously is likely someone looking to improve his situation, not someone who's already established. Someone like Jason Derulo, whom she previously dated, is unlikely to revisit the idea of a public relationship with her. Those days may be long gone. Hopefully, the financial gain was worth the long-term reputational cost. What's problematic now is the attempt to reframe herself as a victim. From the outside, it seems like a post-fact pivot, more about saving face than revealing any actual abuse. But that story doesn't align with the decisions she made along the way. And this leads us to why 50 Cent refuses to let go of his anger, particularly toward Diddy. From his perspective, this isn't just about music industry politics. It's personal. Diddy was reportedly involved with the mother of his child. That crosses the line most people wouldn't forgive. Not long ago, 50 Cent posted on an Instagram with the caption, "Don't kiss my son on the lips, you egg worker." Harsh? Maybe. But if you understand the full context, it becomes clear how deep this wound runs. After all, this isn't just about a relationship. For 50, this is about how his son will be affected. The internet doesn't forget. These revelations, true or not, are now part of the permanent digital record. And unfortunately, his child is the one who will have to carry the weight of that legacy. So now we want to hear from you in the comment section. Do you think 50 Cent will ever move past this situation with Diddy? Was his child's mother a victim, or did she knowingly choose this lifestyle? Drop your thoughts below. We want to know what you think. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dive updates like this. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.